Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Today I'm going to compare XRP and Quant for you guys and compare the similarities and differences between the two and which one I think is a better investment for the next bull run. And I would appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and if you like this video, give me a like. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm to get this video out there. Alright, let's jump into it. Alright, XRP is currently just under 48 cents. It's been around this range for quite some time. If we look back at the history, like even 180 days here, it was down to 35 cents back in January, but then it's been up in the 40 to 50 cent range, you know, for quite a while. I think it got up to around 54 cents or so, and then it's been holding steady, you know, right up around just under the 50 cent range for XRP for a long time. And the market cap on it right now is right around 24, almost 25 billion. And if we look at the price history on it, the last bull run, XRP basically did almost $2 in the last bull run, and its market cap hit about 75 billion, so about a 3x from its current market cap. So it didn't do very well, and that was mostly or pretty much all due to the SEC lawsuit against it. So we'll have to see what it does in this next bull run. Hopefully this case gets dismissed soon. I know a lot of people were calling for this case to be dismissed a long time ago, and then everyone's been saying, oh, it'll be done in July. So we'll see. It's July now, but it just seems like it keeps dragging on and on and on and on, and that's what's really been crushing the price of XRP. I know XRP has a huge following. As you can see, they got 551,000 watch lists, and this is one that's been on my watch list for a while. I don't currently have any in my portfolio, just full disclosure, and I kind of missed. I would have liked to have bought some, you know, right when it was down under 30 cents or so, right around 30 cents, but I just haven't. I'll get into that and my reasons for that towards the end of this video. But XRP is doing a lot of things. I didn't realize there's actually a lot of banks already using this platform, and they're not a lot of major banks, but there are a lot of banks using it, and I'm going to show you guys that in a minute here. If we go to their website here, this guy talks about what the use case is for what they're doing with XRP and with their payment systems, and I just want to play a little bit of this video for you guys so you can take a look at this.
My name is I'm co-founder CEO of the company I set up back in 2014 with a clear vision of trying to build a global payment infrastructure which connects banks, financial institutions. If we look at our customer base, we actually cover a wider base than majority of the payment service providers. So about 60% of our business is financial institutions. So financial institutions includes banks, payment processors, other payment services providers, money services business, etc. Then the 40% of our businesses also includes people like such as marketplaces, travel tech companies, hotel booking sites, etc. So the key aspect what we try to solve for them is two aspects of payments. Is how to send money fast as possible and at the lowest possible cost. Fast forward 2019, we are now accessible in about 35 countries. We send payments to about 55 countries. I think RippleNet actually really helps us globalize much faster. I think a great example is one of the customers which we've got, say BTEC for example. BTEC is a customer in Brazil who uses us to process payments into quite a few markets across the globe. We would have never met BTEC if it was not for having customers.
Fast forward here
if you're a bank and if your son calls you up at midnight, say Singapore time, and says that, hey, I'm in trouble and I need some money immediately, the only way for you is to go and send cash today, right? So that means you need to go out of your house, go and find the cash location, give cash, call your son, give him a number, he goes to a cash out location, takes the number and gets the cash out. But if you need it immediately through a bank, it's not possible. So what we've been working with banks to make this payment system real time. So for example, if your kid calls you up and says that, hey, I need money immediately, you just go onto your mobile app, 3 clicks, send, and within a few minutes the money is already in his bank account. And that's a great service point for a bank. It enables them to acquire more customers, and that's what banks want, right? They want to.
So they're trying to solve the problem of like instant bank transfers to people around the world. And that's similar to what Quant's doing. They're also doing other payment systems and stuff like that for all of the financial institutions. For the use case for XRP and Quant are pretty much the same. They're both targeting financial institutions. They both have financial institutions that are already using their platforms. The difference between the two basically is Ripple is actually got the XRP, and they've got the network that they're using through the blockchain, where the Quant Overledger is a software platform on top of the blockchains, and it can use Ripple, it can use XRP, it can use any of the networks that are out there. It could use Cardano, it could use Ethereum, it could use literally any of them. So that's the advantage that Quant has over all of them. The Overledger works on top of all of the blockchains, and it's easy. They're trying to make it simple for financial institutions to use it. So which banks are using XRP? So far, what I was able to find, there may be more than this, but PNC Bank, they're a pretty big bank. Siam Commercial Bank in Thailand, Santander Bank in USA, Standard Chartered Bank in the UK, Calix in Mexico. Those are the ones that are listed on here. There's probably more. That's just what I found in this article here, and I'll link these articles in the description of the video so you guys can look over them. So they do have some financial institutions already using XRP. So I would imagine that if the case gets dismissed against them, that they'll probably be able to pick up a lot more of that market share. That's kind of what we've all been waiting on, to see how this SEC case turns out. Now Quant here, they're right at $105. They've been floating around this like $98 to $120 range for quite a while. And if we go to the Quant website here, basically they're targeting financial institutions, enterprises, and partners and developers. So they collaborated with the Bank of England on this Project Rosalind, and they also had Barclays, MasterCard, and Amazon all using this platform already. So those are some major customers that are using this platform during Project Rosalind, and they're heavily targeting the financial industry for the CBDCs. And I guess what people were kind of confused, my last video where I actually created tokens on the Quant Overledger. These aren't like tokens that an average project would go out and create and sell on the blockchain. These are like CBDCs or stable coins and payment coins on the Overledger. They're not actually coins that you would use on the blockchain. You can't go and sell them on exchange or anything like that. They're for these payment systems to use these tokens on the network, on any network. So they're basically just for sending payment systems. So they don't have to buy any specific, they don't have to buy XRP or Cardano or any of those to use the network. They have their own stable coins or their own payment coins that they use on Quant's Overledger, and then the Quant Overledger is using Quant for the transactions, and every user, like every user that these financial institutions add to their network, as their network grows and they have more users, the more Quant that gets bought up and locked away. And every time they add a user, more Quant gets added to that pool that gets locked away. So it just keeps building and building. And the other question I had was, people were wondering, well, what happens when the customer cancels their contract? Do those tokens get unlocked? Yes, but there's multiple customers using it. There'll eventually be hundreds and probably thousands of these merchants using it. So when one's contract is up, if they decide to use another platform, it's not going to impact the price because there's going to be multiple users, and they're not all going to be ending their contract at the same time. And then most of them are going to be renewing their contract, which just keeps those tokens locked up for a longer period. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, I was looking at price predictions for these two. I can see XRP doing around $3 to $5 pretty comfortably in the next bull run. If they win the lawsuit, I think they'll possibly do better than that. I'm thinking somewhere in the $7 to $9 range if they get really bullish. But just keep in mind, guys, if XRP hits that $9 to $10 range, that is a $500 billion market cap. That's half of Bitcoin's market cap for the last bull run. I think Bitcoin hit like 1.2 trillion. So yeah, I know some people are saying that they could possibly take in trillions and trillions of dollars into XRP because of, you know, the financial institutions. But I want to remind you that, you know, financial institutions, some of them may be comfortable using XRP's network, but that doesn't mean they're all going to be comfortable with one network, you know, being in charge of their payment systems. Where with Quant, they have the option of using the Overledger software, and they can use any and all of the blockchains at the same time. So if one of the blockchains has a shutdown or a failure, their payments can choose another option instantly. I mean, you know, there's no risk for them really. So that's why I'm more bullish on Quant than XRP, because it's not just one network that they're relying on. They could use all of them or any of them, you know, with the Overledger. So I know some people are thinking that, you know, there's gonna be trillions and trillions of dollars pouring into XRP, but there's not just this only option out here. There's multiple options for banks, and, you know, sure if, you know, if there's some of these providers that could be picking up XRP or moving, let's say some people said, well, they move $5 trillion in, you know, services per day. Well, that's volume. That doesn't mean they're buying $5 trillion of XRP and holding on to it. That's volume. That's sending and receiving throughout the day, you know, multiple processes. Sure, that will use up a lot of the XRP network, especially with transaction fees and stuff, but you know, it's hard to say what that could do. It could make it really do well, but I'm thinking that Quant is probably going to be the winner here as far as what banks are going to want to choose, because it's easier for them to use, and they have the operating system. They don't have to actually use the physical network per se and have the headache of, you know, purchasing coins and using the network. That way they can just use the Overledger from Quant and that would take care of it for them. Now, Quant's price prediction, I was looking at, you know, these other blockchains in their first bull run, you know, like Polygon, they hit 20 billion in the last bull run. I would say it's probably going to be a minimum for Quant. That would be like $1,400. And then if they went as high as Solana, that would put them at about $5,000 if they hit Solana's market cap, and then at 80 billion, and then if they hit Cardano's market cap at 100 billion, that would put Quant right at $7,000 in the next bull run if they hit Cardano's market cap that it did last bull run. Now I'm thinking that, you know, likely Cardano and Solana and Polkadot are gonna and Polygon are gonna surpass their market cap that they did in the last bull run coming up in this upcoming bull run. So I could see Quant taking up that market share of what these projects did in the last bull run. I don't think I could see maybe Quant surpassing like Polygon possibly, but I don't see Quant surpassing Solana and Cardano necessarily. That doesn't mean it couldn't happen, but I'm predicting somewhere between, you know, like a $1,500 to $2,500 Quant, up to $5,000 to $7,000 on the high end. I know some people are calling for a $10,000 Quant. That's possible, but I just don't know if it's that likely. My target, like I said, is somewhere between $1,500 and $2,500 for the low end, and on up from there. So we'll just have to kind of see. But that's my comparison for these two. I think they're both great projects. I think that XRP has the stigma of the lawsuit hanging over it that's holding it back. I think if they win that lawsuit, it's going to be really bullish for them, and we'll have to see just how well they do. But I would disagree with the people out there that are saying it's going to get to like $100 or $1,000. I just don't see that being a possibility unless it took over the, you know, entire market share of the payment system. But there's other options out there like Quant. You know, it's simpler for them to use, and it's just an operating system that can do the same thing that, you know, XRP is doing, basically, only better possibly. So just keep that in mind, guys. I do think XRP will do well. I think it's a great project. I just think I'm more bullish personally on Quant, and that's why it's going to be a large portion, and is a large portion of my portfolio. That's all I've got for this video, guys. I appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, and leave comments below on what you think of these two and which one you think is going to do better. I love hearing from you guys on XRP. I love hearing from you guys on Quant as well. So I'd love to hear your price predictions and how many you're holding in your portfolio. I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next video.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me, tell me, tell me, tell me.